Right, just put £50 of diesel in this new Defender and hitting the road in Wakefield at the moment, which is quite a built up area. And when I used to work at Guy Salmon Land Rover Wakefield, I used to actually come into work in my own Defender 2014 Defender 110, and I actually drove it as my company car because me being tight, I didn't like paying company car tax, and so they paid me so much per mile to drive my own vehicle. And I've got to say, driving a fairly tricked up 110 into Wakefield when I used to turn up, which Paul Williams, the MD, would confirm that wasn't often, but we did sell quite a lot of vehicles, and well, that to justify my existence. Anyway, it wasn't a pleasant journey. Get up and through the gearbox and cold, cramped, whatever you want to call it. You know, as much as I loved it, it was hard work, you know, especially if you got stuck in traffic and with a clutch. And I'm now driving this new Defender, and it's whispering quiet. It's got the sublime 8-speed gearbox that's been around for a while now. It's in quite a few different makes, as well as Land Rover. Jeep have it in their new JL, and the Grand Cherokee. It's in a multitude of cars, and it probably is one of the best gearboxes being invented in the last 10 years. Pretty bulletproof. I've got a virtual reality dash. I've got iPhone entertainment like you cannot believe, and the quality of the trim in here is amazing. It's got the infinity pull interior mirror, and it's a funny thing to call it an infinity pull, but it's one of them mirrors where the glass is right to the edge, which takes a little bit of getting used to. There's also a center sunblind, panoramic roof. My god, this is a Defender. Well, I've set off. I've got quite a few people to visit with it and show to. I've got ex-customers who always used to buy the vehicles off me, and who are insisting I call in just at social distance and show them this new Defender. I've got Paul coming over, and we're going to go and try and get some video shots of it on the Yorkshire Wolds, and you know, get a little bit more in depth with the vehicle and a bit more of a feel for it. Just what can I say? It's wrong on all counts. It's wrong. That's an odd thing to say. It's wrong. This badge is wrong, Defender. It should be called something else. It's a shame it's not called a D4. But you've got to move on. You've got to move on. Anybody who walks into those dealerships and gets in this vehicle for the first time, who doesn't need a utility vehicle, and that's the big one, doesn't need a utility vehicle, they're going to buy this car. This car is going to sell in droves. Now the next question mark is the risk factor, and I keep going on about this with people when I'm chatting to them and everything. I bought a Toyota Land Cruiser 150 brand new. Did I buy it because it was the best vehicle on the market? No, I flipping didn't. Do I think it is better to drive? Better handling, better engine, better gearbox, anything do I think is better than my Discovery 4? Not a patch on the Discovery 4. not even in the same league. So why did I buy it? Risk factor. The risk factor of owning a Toyota Land Cruiser 150 is mitigated. It is so low compared to owning some Land Rover products. Now, the old Defender, you could say to yourself, I'll accept the risk factor because I am capable of fixing it. It can be done. You can't say that about this car. This car has got to be built right from the start off. This car's got to go from 0 to 100,000 miles trouble free, and that is what we've got to wait and see if it's going to happen. That is the $65 million question, or whatever you want to call it, is the risk factor of the vehicle. Well, there's two things: the cost of the vehicle, but the risk factor is the highest one. If Land Rover have built this car properly and it proves to be reliable, it's going to be fabulous. We'll have to wait and see for that bit, because we can't tell now. What I'm driving on the M1 now towards York. I'm sat at 70 miles an hour. It feels like I'm doing 40 miles an hour. I'm looking over a bonnet, and this bonnet is almost a twin to a Disco 4 bonnet. I can see each corner. I can feel. I'm looking round now, looking in the mirrors. I know that if I was on a trek and I was having to shuffle around a mountainside or around a fallen log, I know to the inch where the corners are on this vehicle. Perfect. I keep saying Discovery 4. I'll shut up. We'll see how we go with the rest of the day, folks. Catch you later. Right, coming towards the end of my day in the new Defender. I've really enjoyed today. It's been a brilliant day. Second only, I think. Well, no, he's in first place. Up to then, I was lucky enough to go on the launch of the new 5-litre supercharged Range Rover Sport a few years ago, and to drive it on the test track at Gaydon, and to be driving a Range Rover de-restricted at 160 miles an hour, I'll never forget. And I always thought that would be it. But to be honest with you, this is eclipsed it. This is one incredible vehicle. It's comfortable. I can see each corner of the vehicle. In fact, it's incredibly comfortable. The seats are superb. Ergonometry is perfect, apart from the driver's elbow. In the old Defender, you used to kick your elbow outside the car. In this one, we've got that much room that it's too far to rest your elbow, and the next level down is too low. So we're it's between the devil and the deep blue sea. So it's not quite right, isn't that? It's not no good. It's not quite right. The second thing that I'm not happy with is you've got massive air vents in the front bumper that lead through to the brakes. Not a problem. You know, why is that a problem? Well, we only drove one track today, and it was a chalk farm track, and we only did it to get some drone pictures and video, and I couldn't believe it. We drove it 2 or 3 times, and the vents in the bumper, the air intake in the bumper, was just full of chalk. And if I'd driven it another 2 or 3 times, it would have been blocked. So how can you do thousands and thousands of miles of testing in the Sahara Desert, ice in the Antarctic? You know, how can you do all these things and then have a fundamental thing where these vents fill up with chalk? Now, you might say, oh, they've never driven in chalk. Well, it's no different to a muddy track or sand dunes, damp sand. It'll have the same effect. And so if they were to fill up and you were driving this vehicle quickly, you could potentially overheat the brakes. I don't know, it may never happen, but I just find it incredibly odd that you can have a car that's been through the rigorous testing that this has, and that happens. The other thing is, on the track, I can only think I went through a puddle, and on the driver's side front wing there's a plastic shield, and that fell off. It was hanging off. I've put it back on, but again, it shouldn't happen. The next thing is you've got the coloured bits on the side and the rear 3/4 that are for these side pods. Now, that's fine. You know, I think they're a bit odd to look at, but so what? They're not level. That area of the car is just not quite level, and I called at 2 or 3 places today who buy Land Rovers, used to buy them off me. Businessmen who've got Range Rovers, Discoveries, everything, and 2 of them spotted it straight away, and they were not happy. They said, if that's the build quality, it's not good enough. And I hadn't noticed it when I picked it up, because he was actually absolutely throwing it down with rain. But they're right. It doesn't. You know, once you've been told, it's in your eyesight and you can't get rid of it. And you know, I'll have a chat with the guys at Guy Salmon when I get back there shortly, and I'll bring it up. I mean, there's always teething problems, but I really don't understand the front vents filling up. That to me is wrong. The bit of trim coming off, well, that could be sorted out, and these line of sight bits of trim and door seals and everything, that can probably be put right, but I just wish they weren't there, because it does take a little bit of an edge off what is an incredible vehicle. I mean, everything about it, you know, my dog's fit in the back, 3 dogs, my wife loves it, Leanie's sat in it and taking her down the road in it. Her comment is that I just can't understand why it's called a Land Rover Defender. You know, why is it not a Land Rover something else? Because in her mind, it's not a Defender. She just cannot compute that, and to a degree I can't. And I did say that on social media earlier. And when I said it, a good friend of mine, Nick Gooder, came back and says, Russ, he says, you shouldn't worry about the name so much, because he says, look at the Range Rover Classic. When the Range Rover Classic came out, you could swill the floor out, you had vinyl seats, and it was fit for purpose for almost utilitarian vehicle. And he says, you know, the Range Rover Classic evolved, and nobody wants to change the name of Range Rover. Everybody's happy that it's still called a Range Rover from the Classic to now. And I thought about this, and I thought, well, yeah, you got a good point there. But then I thought a bit more about it, and I thought, well, you have got a good point there, but the same man who bought the Range Rover in 1969 still buys it today. You know, it's part of their DNA, the shooting fraternity, whoever bought a Range Rover back then has it now. You know, you cut them in half and that's it. How could you say that about a Defender owner today? Could you say that the DNA of the Defender is still there because the ones who bought them, the last ones in 2016, they're all going to fall over and buy them now? Well, they're not. This is like gone into warp speed. You know, you've had from 1948 to 2016 a slow evolution of a vehicle. You know, in 2016 there was bits on that car that harked back to 1948. You know, this is like 20 years, 30 years on. You know, it's just moved on so far, and so I actually think Defender is the wrong name. I don't know what you want to call it, Land Rover, whatever, and it really it isn't a big issue at the end of the day. It's how good the car is, but because of my history and my DNA, it says no. But all I can tell you is I love the car. When I get back to Guy Salmon shortly, I'll be putting a deposit down for a 90. Don't need a 110. I've got my Toyota Land Cruiser. I'm going to put a deposit down for a 90. I can't make my mind up whether it's going to be a commercial or with windows. I can't make my mind up whether it's going to be coil sprung or on air. The other thing I'd say about this car, I thought it right at the beginning when I got in it this morning, I thought the tyres are not fit for purpose, and when we were on the farm track today, it was sliding all over the place, and it wasn't the vehicle, it was the tyres. You know, you're only as good as your tyres, and these tyres, Land Rover turn around and say, well, we put the tyres on for the type of customer we're going to sell it to. Well, you shouldn't make a four-wheel drive as good as this without putting the right rubber on. So I'm going to sign off on that. I'm going to sign off. I've had a fantastic day. Thank you, Guy Salmon Wakefield. Paul, you've been a gent lending me this for the day, because everybody and his dog wants to try one at the moment, and to let me have it for 8 hours, I really can't tell you how pleased I am. Seriously am. Struggling to get my words out there. That's not like me. Anyway, cheers, bye.